What's up, everybody? This is your girl Kiwan, and I am back with another episode. Last week's episode, sorry I'm late, was season 2, episode 9 of the Never Ever Mets. Wish we had never ever met. I am here to tell y'all I totally agree with this title. Whoever came up with this, Chef's Kiss, because I wish y'all never ever met either. I wish a lot of y'all never ever came on this damn show. I wish for a lot of things. Okay, I really wish I get a bunch of y'all have never ever met. Hey Jared, okay, hello, okay, because he's still an asshole and going to continue to be an asshole while Charlie, dumbass, chooses to be dense about this whole situation and about what's going on between her and Jared. Okay, shit pissed me off too. It be her in these little comments in her confessional that make me feel like you think you and Jared are up here when both of y'all are in a toilet and your self-esteem is between a toilet and a sink. Okay? That's all I wanted to say. So let's just get this episode over with. When I tell y'all I am so glad that Juan Dixon is I'm glad that this week is a final episode. Okay, I'm happy because they pissed me off, which means this season was actually pretty good. Okay, it had its moments, but if you pissed me off, that means to me it was good. Anyway, so the episode picks back up with Brittany. She had her finger in Ty's face, and I felt like, girl, why would you do that? Like, I'm sorry, that aggravated me, and so her and Ty dispersed. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I understood where Ty was coming from because you took long to answer that question. So I just think Brittany is still lying to herself, talking about you trying to protect his feelings. No, you don't want to be honest and you don't want to keep it a buck. You want to keep stringing him along as if you like him and you really, really don't. So Jay asked Brittany, do she think that Ty feels disrespected in some way? And I'm just thinking, how? So Jay goes on to say that Ty does a lot for Brittany and he's not getting anything back. What is he supposed to be getting back for her? Like, please don't think that she owe him his body, any type of body part for him doing things for her, because that's not how that works. He do it is either he doing it because he want to do it or he's doing it for something in return, and that's just what it is. So Brittany said the problem is he's basically, everybody else is getting these conversations. I think that's what she said, except for her. I think I mentioned that wrong. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, please. And so Jay feels like Ty does a lot for Brittany to not get anything in return. So, ma'am, I hope you don't think she's supposed to bust it open for a real nigga. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Bust it open for a real one, because he's doing all of the things for her. Okay. Jay says, she said he didn't. You don't know how much a man can take. Again, in what aspect? Because they're just internet dating. So it's not even real. I'm sorry. They're just meeting each other for the first time. And she was like, how much can a man take? Okay, and that just aggravated me. So Brittany, apparently, she's too fresh with the guys. And apparently, she sickled Cinco. He told her that. She said, I didn't know I did that, Brittany. I think you're lying. I think you know what you're doing. Production, roll back. Okay, you understand? Roll back all of the stuff Brittany, the way she has physically touched on these men. Now, no, she didn't touch on no body parts or anything like that. However, it just seemed a bit inappropriate, if you ask me. Just a bit. Okay? Just a bit inappropriate, if you ask me. Because why you not touching on Ty like that? You got a whole dude and you not touching on him like that. Again, you can say whatever you want, Miss Britt. You were not interested in him, no way, no how, no shape, no form. And I just didn't like, I'm going to say this. Yes, Jay slept with Cinco on the first night. I just don't like how she threw that out there. She was like, so you after, now I did not like that Jay called Brittany, told her she looked like a promiscuous whore. Cause the way we would have been scrapping in that house, okay? I don't know how to fight, but I fight. So Jay told Brittany she looked like a promiscuous whore. Brittany was like, you don't even know, what does that mean? You don't even know what that means. It was just a whole back and forward. Brittany, Brittany don't think she's she was like, I don't act like that. I mean, you don't. But however, the way you were touching on them, it does send a sign that you are flirty. Optics is everything. So if I'm watching you and you're touching somebody like, oh, you so good, girl. Okay, that's a lot, ma'am. Keep your hands to yourself. So, she said she refused to have an ignorant conversation. Brittany, just because somebody calling you out, that doesn't make them ignorant. They was not wrong in their assessment of you. Ty was not wrong in your assessment of you. Now, I'm going to agree when I'm right. I mean, when I see something and I agree with them, but you cannot do that. If Cinco was telling you did tickle me, you said you don't remember. Do you not want to remember, or was you that drunk that you don't remember? Like that. And the way you even hugged Ty's brother, and the way you was looking at him, yes, you have a way. So Jay was like, well, you can leave out of the kitchen. Y'all, at this point, Jay wanted a problem with Brittany. She been wanting a problem with Brittany. She been wanting to express how Brittany has carried herself. And so she has a disdain for Brittany. Like, Jay, girl, please. Anyway, Ty said, F that, he done. He said that he want to be with somebody where he can be heard. And at this point, I just feel like Brittany, I don't know why I keep trying to call her Brittany can go home and be with I just feel like Brittany can go home and be with her son, because you just don't like him. And it shows. It's been showing, I want to say since the maybe the second episode, I want to say second or third. It's been showing since Ben. Okay? So stupid ass Jared and gullible Charlie is laying down together. He have his leg across hers. And he tells her what happened when he went fishing with whatever his name is. The goofy one. Okay? In the next episode, Jay and Cinco talk. He wants her in Atlanta. And she wants him in Chicago. Jay thinks that Cinco thinks that she should move. Jay thinks that he should move with her because her son I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking at these notes. Apparently Jay wants her and her son to come to Atlanta. The reason, and this is the reason why Jay doesn't want to go, because she has a son. And Jay keeps saying, what did she say? He's just 4 years old or something. Like, you're disregarding the fact that she has a kid and that she has a support system here in Chicago. She doesn't have a support system in Atlanta, so anything can happen. Like, yeah, no. I'm not saying that they can't meet in the middle and compromise. I'm saying that why does she have to uproot her life? You know, I just feel like this is not going to work. Anyway, I'm sorry. This was just for our entertaining purposes only. But I understand where Jay is coming from. When you have a little kid and you have support that you know and that you trust, it is not easy to take your child who is 4 or however old her kid is to go to another state where there is no support, and I have to get to know people who I damn sure don't know and put my kid in their care. That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. And you people may not agree, but me, my parenting, I worked around them and not the other way around. I made sure that we had a roof over our head. I made sure that it was me and them. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I've never been a person to take myself and my 2 at the time when they were little and go live under some guy. I've always made sure to have sustained my own place. Like, I've just been that type of parent. Like, I'm sorry. I just So anyway, I just thought I'd say that. I just no. And if I do decide to move somewhere else, of course, they are welcome, but it's still gonna always be me. Like, unless there is some marriage involved, I would like to be in my own personal space. But that's just me. And I'm not, So right now it's just me. It's me, it's them. Again, 1923, I can come and go as I please. But, that's just the way it is. So anyway, the next day, Brittany go upstairs to talk to Ty. She tells him that it's not working. She said, and they're not connecting. And as I stated, Brittany wasn't interested in the first place, and I've been saying Brittany should go home, and he needs to go home as well. And her putting her hand in his face, I will say this, that was not cool. Like, Brittany has a handsy problem. It seems sometimes she has not been able to control her anger. And even though she probably wanted to punch the piss out of Ty, that just wasn't the way to do it. I'm sorry. This and touching on these men, girl, no. And keep saying things like, I don't want to have this ignorant conversation. It's like, you can find a way to disengage without even having to say that. I guess the next morning cooler heads have prevailed, but they both made a decision to just walk away. So Ty agrees, and at this point, he said that he was at his wit's end, and he wanted her to own up to touching on other men in the house. And he said, well, they have told me. Let me go ahead and address this. Was she wrong for touching the other men in the house? Yes. But you wait until y'all are into it to have this conversation with her. Because I'm pretty sure Jay has told you this before, but you have kept it to yourself instead of just having a conversation with her early on and addressing it. That's what I think. You don't just act like you just now hearing about it. You probably knew about it, but you just didn't want to address it. That's your bad, and that's on you. Now you want her. Now that what they call it now that Mad Day is here. You want to just throw all of this bullshit out. Like y'all triggered when I tell y'all triggering. So they both agreed to leave, and thank God. Like I'm just glad. I hope that the next season is kind of like this, where these people, if they know they ain't, right, that they leave. And another thing, this is another thing I wanted to say about this show. They allowed them to come in, stay in this house. They'll come maybe, how many exercises they done? 3, 4. Like, I don't understand. How is this? Y'all just have them in this house and for 3 weeks, and y'all only come up with a few exercises. Like, this is bullshit. Okay, like, I guess this was just a free 3-week vacation. If you ask me, I think it was just a free 3-week vacation that y'all gave to some strangers. And then y'all allowed these dudes to play these messy ass games. Like, again, this was not the way everything went. The way everything was orchestrated was not the best way. But that's my opinion. So Alexis tells Brittany goes upstairs. Alexis says to Brittany, so you're not going to speak? And she just kept walking. So apparently, it is very apparent that Brittany does not like Alexis or Jay, and they don't really care for her. She only cool with maybe Kiki and Charlie. And so she kept walking upstairs. And Jay is talking like this can leave, yada, yada, yada. Girl, shut up. Let this lady go. Let this lady go at this point. Now, unless production shows where y'all actually got into it at this point, just let this lady go, because it is what it is. Okay? So, Brittany goes on to tell Charlie, she's leaving, and she's saying her confessional. Charlie had the nerve once again to say in her confessional she wasn't lying, but at the same time, ma'am, check your own front yard. Okay? So Brittany don't like Ty. That's what Charlie said in her confessional. Yeah, kind of like the way Jared don't like you. But ma'am, you have some nerve. Okay? So she also goes on to say they are forcing it and they should leave. The way I was about to pitch this damn phone at my TV. Cause y'all, when I tell y'all, Charlie be pissing me off. She be pissing me off. Because you get in your confessionals and you say really dumb things as if the nigga you with just head over heels in love with you. Like, for me, the way I wanted to just, again, I can't fight. But Charlie, baby, I was like, no ma'am. So Britt said her boundaries were being crossed and dealing with ignorant people, and her experience, that made her experience suck. So I want to say maybe coupled with, the stuff she had to deal with Ty, dealing with maybe Alexis, and I want to say it was probably Alexis and I'm sorry y'all, and Jay, that made her experience, worse than what it was. Now, I wish production could have showed a little more so we can actually see where her boundaries were being crossed. Anyway, Ty said he will not try so hard to please other people. Sir, if you're pleasing other people like that, you need to figure out why. Why are you such a people pleaser and you're not getting anything in return? Why can't you take care of yourself in this manner? Like, honestly, y'all really have to go read that book, The Them Theory. It is actually a good book. Okay, just for free. Go ahead and read that. So Kiki said her bestie is coming and Brandon's brother will be there. Single asked if it's going to be some drama. He asked Kiki, is it going to be some drama And if so, she needs to tell him now. Cinco, I don't know who made you the head of the house. Because, sir, mind your business. Okay? You go figure out if you gonna move, if you moving to Chicago, if that girl moving to ATL. You got bigger fish to fry, my boy. Mind your business. Okay? Because them two act like, really want to sit here and act like they the cream of the crop couple. Okay? Figure that shit out. Then come back to us. So, Jared, y'all, when I tell y'all I really wanted to pass up Jared and Charlie, because of course we know he's lying to her. So Jared is still lying to Charlie, and now she realizes after 9 episodes for us, almost 3 weeks, tomorrow, the next episode would be the last day. You realize that Jared is telling you what you want to hear. And she was like, she's still trying to figure out what he wants. Like, this man smell like Kente oil. Girl, this man told you last week that he didn't want to be with you. But in your head, you keep seeing something else. You're interpreting something else. I don't know. So Charlie, I'm sorry. So Charlie was like, well, I'm finna go back into the house. And then she goes into the house. This is evil. I'm sorry, y'all. Everything about him is evil. He starts to chuckle. Like, like evil. Okay? So in the next scene, Jay must have said something because she's starting to piss me off. She got on my nerves because I'm sure, I'd say she was childish. I don't know why, but she pissed me off, y'all. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm giving y'all half-ass videos of the Never Ever Mets, but I'm not gonna lie. It pisses me off. I'm gonna get a shirt that say it pisses me off. I'm sorry, y'all. So Cinco plans a date, and they're going to a perfume shop where they get to make their own scent. It's called a scent bar, which I've never seen that before, but I know they have them. So the date is pretty cool. He brings up, of course, her moving to Atlanta, and Cinco keeps saying that, and she, keep reiterating, hey, I have a child. And this is what Cinco kept saying. He's just a kid. What does that mean? Does that mean because he's just a kid, they're not allowed to have emotions, feelings, or opinions? Because I think, and that's another thing, Cinco doesn't have any kids. You don't have any kids. So you don't have anybody to consider. She does. Like, you act just like some... I'm sorry, no, let me say this, because there are people who do not have kids that consider the needs of other kids. I just don't feel like most people think you don't know unless you don't have children. No, that's not true. There are people who do not have children who have raised someone. If you've raised someone, most people, I would think, done what was in the best interest of the child. And I'm sorry, I'm with Jay on this one. I'm not gonna just drag my kid across the on the other side of the United States for you. And all you can say is he's just a kid, as if, again, he don't have no opinion. He doesn't have any emotions, feelings, or anything like that. Like, whatever he says, whatever, as the adult, you have to do whatever the adults say. And I get it. But at the same time, no. I told y'all, coupled with the fact that this lady keeps saying her support system is here. I don't know these people out here in Atlanta. You do. I'm just still getting to know you. Even though we've talked virtually, I have never experienced you in person until we got here. And this is just 3 weeks of whatever you want to show me. I'm sorry. It irritated me. And it irritated me as a parent. And I'm sure as people who don't have kids and who have raised, but may have raised someone, maybe a sibling or, a step, it irritates you to hear somebody say something like that, just not thinking what's best for the kid. Anyway, Jay thinks it's easier for him to pack it up and move to Chicago. It could be, but he was like, just like I could pack up my computer and come to you, you could pack yours up and come to me. But she don't just come with a computer. She comes with a kid. It seems as if it's easier for you to go there to here, but you don't want that. Anyway, Kiki's best friend arrives, and so does Brandon's brother. Brandon's brother comes in rude as fuck. He don't have no manners. Alexis comes to the door. He was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Where?" And he walks in and said, "Where's my brother?" Sir, you can get your ass out of here. Because don't come in here like that. Okay? Let me tell y'all, my mama, y'all know, shout out to my mama. Rest in peace to my mama, okay? My mama would have threw him out so fast. Like, baby, don't come in my house like that. Like, then his raggedy ass coming in here looking like a damn wet puppy. Okay? He pissed me off. Okay? So Alexis goes in the kitchen and tells them that Brandon's brother is rude as, and he was. I'm sorry. So Jay said that Brandon's brother is a lot. And she really was on point when it came to that brother. So Brandon tells his brother that Kiki is a heavy drinker. And here we go with this damn narrative. Nobody yet has told me how much liquor Kiki consumed. Okay? So they talk about the drinking. They talk about how as a kid, their parent, the drinking with their parents and all of that. And yeah, I get it. That's fine. That's not everybody's story. That was that story for them people. So Kiki needs to tell Brandon about that ex. So she broke up with the ex at the beginning of the year, but they had been dealing for 4 years. Kiki hopes that Kiki hopes that he says, "I've been dealing with an ex too," so they both can be even. And this is where we find out, she doesn't want him to leave. And I'm like, why? Why do you have to hold on to people who clearly wants to go? That's why she held on to that ex. Like, do you not like being by yourself? Do you not love yourself that much that you haven't chosen you? Like, I really need to know what goes on. What does Kiki think and why? So the bestie tells Brandon, they all meet together. It seems like hypocrisy because Brandon starts to talk about Kiki drinking, and she was like, "Well, don't you drink? How much alcohol do you consume?" While she's consuming alcohol, and I get that. She tells Brandon why she really flaked on him, and she says because she was still living with her ex, and it was also the fact that she just wasn't ready. And again, we can circle back around here, but the truth of the matter is you wasn't ready because you was still fumbling around with that ex. So Brandon act like he was faithful, and I was just like, so you telling me you was faithful to this woman 4 years or not meeting her, and you just did not have no girlfriend? Brandon, boy, get the fuck out of here with that one. Okay, now I could be wrong, and I don't want to, but I could be wrong. And so I'm just looking at his brother and all these antics, and I'm like, sir, do you really want to be on TV? Because that's what it's giving right now. And so, okay. And so, he says that her secret is a deal breaker. She says she could have waited, but this was a mess. And the bestie was like, listen, you treat my friend right, so everybody leave or whatever. The friend and the brother leave. And she was like, you treat my friend right unless I'm going to pull up with you, but first I got to get a babysitter. Girl, okay. But at least you're willing. At least you're willing to pull up for your friend. Okay? I get that. So Brandon tells Alexis what happened. And Alexis was like, so out of 4 years, you ain't never slept with nobody? And he was like, no. And she was like, why? Which that is a valid question. That is a valid question. And so Jay and Cinco said that it wasn't a real... Okay, so they're talking to Kiki. And they agree with Kiki that y'all talking just on a computer talking, this is not a real commitment. So I just believe Brandon is lying when it comes to him not meeting. Or you may not have been in a relationship, but you probably have done things, you know. So I guess they feel like, you know, this wasn't really a real relationship. It was just like you guys are, you know, we're meeting, we're talking, we're getting to know each other. We have never seen each other yet. And I will say this, I give kudos to Brandon for making an attempt to come see her. That was on Kiki, but I get it. So, Brandon at this point starts to be passive aggressive. And so the next morning, Kiki said, you know, she tossed and turned. That's what she was telling Cinco. And she said, he says he understands why Brandon feel how he feel. At this point, I really don't give a damn what Cinco feel. And he starts to let Kiki know, you know, how optics, how it looks, you know, or whatever. I guess Kiki was like, bet, whatever. So Brandon asked Kiki why did she wait so long to talk about her ex. And Kiki said they technically me and you wasn't together, so it's not like I lied to you. I just didn't give you full information. Kiki, you lied. Whether you decided to omit, okay, it's still a lie, sister. you didn't get the full information, but I get it. But still, now it's like you have a chance of, there's a possibility that Brandon may not want to be with you. So, you know. So Kiki said that he has qualities. She was like, well, you have qualities that I don't want to deal with. And this is another thing. So apparently there are things that Kiki has never shared with Brandon. But she has suppressed those things. That is the problem. Because if you have any angst against anybody and you're suppressing yourself, that is a problem. She said that he doesn't validate her feelings, just acting like he don't understand her. She was listing all of those things that he does and says to her, and you know, and I was like, he does all of that, you know. So she was like, you do these things, and he made it seem like he didn't. So he said he let that drinking problem go. You did not, because you disclosed that information with your brother. You have not let that go. You have not let that go. I'm sorry. You may have not said anything these past couple episodes, but technically you have not let that go, because that is your main issue. That one of your main issues with her. So he asked Kiki, do you want to let it go? She was like, what, this conversation? And he was like, no, this whole thing. So he was like, not the conversation, this relationship. And Kiki was like, at this point, Kiki, like me, like, whatever, Brandon, you do what's necessary for you. Y'all, this is where the episode ended. I'm telling y'all, thank you, Lord. I know I said a lot of words. That this episode, this next week is the last. When I tell y'all, I cannot wait to scratch this off my list because this show is so triggering. All right. So, yeah, that's all I got for tonight. I will drop my episode and I will come back to y'all tomorrow, you know. And that's it. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all think. Bye.